We're on stage here at the Port Theatre in Nanaimo with the artistic director and conductor of the Vancouver Island Symphony, Pierre Simard. They're preparing for their season finale coming up on April 22nd. Epic Inventions is a part of that program, and it's presenting some unusual, unique challenges.
Yes, I wrote, as a composer, 10 of the 14 pieces that are going to be played in the second half. They are a great tribute to the great inventions in mankind's history. And the challenge is that we are combining electronic tracks and electronic samples, pre-programmed electronic music, that will be sent out in the house all the while we play. And I will be controlling this from the podium with my electronic equipment here, which is a laptop, and what we call a groove box. This is a flagship
We're still talking
product.
about a symphony, right?
Yes, we are. But this is actually what is being done a lot in Hollywood right now with all the movie music that's being written. You know, there is such a wealth of incredible music that has been written for cinema. Yeah. Some of it is even stronger than, you know, modern classical compositions. There really is great imagination. And I wanted to recreate that. When you think movie composers, you know, the first name that comes up is John Williams. John Williams really wrote for symphony, really wrote for the traditional instruments of the orchestra. But then there's a guy that came along, Hans Zimmer, with a few other names, Giacchino and the French guy Alexandre Desplat. And they started combining the symphony, the traditional symphony orchestra, with electronic sounds and electronic tracks and sound effects, really fusing the two worlds. So this is what I'm trying to do.
So you're conducting and actually controlling the sounds coming out.
Yes.
And so you have to reverse the timing.
Exactly. We need to really make the two work together because the orchestra will be huge on stage. It's a big orchestra. We have an adult choir, children's choir. So from a space perspective, you know, the tuba player sits at the back of the stage. And then we are shooting electronic tracks in the house through the house's speakers. So he cannot hear them. So we need to set it up in a way that, you know, we're going to have speaker monitors on the stage, but I must also be as much a performer, a musician-performer, as those guys on stage.
And there's less room for you to adjust the timing.
Exactly.
Because this is fixed.
Exactly. My ears need to be super fast. Let me give you an example, maybe. So if you come here, and you imagine that you are my orchestra in front of me, and I have my groove box here, so there's a case where I actually start a track, all the while I start conducting the orchestra, something like this.
Okay, so I'll pretend to.
So you see, I don't have much margin. I have just a few seconds to start the track and then adapt the tempo because I have a group of players, you know, who are also counting on the visual signals that I am giving. So
very, very complicated. And what we haven't mentioned at this point, I don't think, is that while this is all happening on stage, it is also timed with, I think it's safe to say, film projections.
Yes.
That reflect visually the inventions that are being told.
Absolutely. Montreal film director Nathalie Cusson prepared 7 films to go with 7 out of the 14 inventions. And we have 3 kinds. There is traditional film that she did with actors and props and everything. She is also a master at what we call motion graphics, so computer-generated choreography of images that she put together. And the third kind is, again, this kind of motion graphics, but combined with stock film. I have stock images from NASA, for example, for the number called the Space Shuttle. So she will combine this with computer-generated images.
It is a world premiere taking place right here on the Port Theatre stage. Epic on many, many levels, including what's on the first half of the program.
Beethoven's 5th Symphony, pa, 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 the most epic piece ever written.
What a wonderful way to end a fabulous season with the Vancouver Island Symphony. You want to be here April 22nd on stage, well, in the audience, next to the stage at the Port Theatre, 7:30 p.m. You can get more information on how to enjoy the concert. There's usually a pre-show chat, things like that. Vancouverislandsymphony.com. We'll see you here at the theatre.